Welcome, friends, to another episode of Listening Presence. We build our lives on scaffolding. They come in the form of beliefs, opinions, and identities, all nailed together from childhood, our culture, family, fear. They give us safety or a feeling of safety, and we climb upon them, looking around, certain of who we are, where we stand, and what we think is true. But if you ask someone directly, what does your faith mean to you? What is your experience? You might notice something. Often, they cannot answer from within. They repeat the scaffolding. Well, this is the one true way. This is the only truth. These words are borrowed, not breathed. I see this in others all the time, and I see it in myself. Whenever I'm clinging to an opinion or defending an identity or a belief structure, I am holding up scaffolding that is not my essence. It is only armor, protecting a self that fears its own emptiness. And yet, there is another scaffolding. It is a scaffolding not for holding up illusion, but for gently taking illusion down. This is the practice I live into now. To speak slowly. To pause between sentences. To breathe before I respond. To wait until the other person pauses before I answer. To listen not for the flood of words another person is speaking, but for the silence between them. It is simple, yet it rewires everything. It is scaffolding that removes scaffolding. I remember a story about an aikido master speaking to a boy who was struggling in school. The boy didn't like listening to his teachers, and his parents thought it would be best to remove him from the aikido class. The master asked the parents, "Would you please let me speak to your son first?" They agreed. So when the master went to the boy, he said, "When you are in school, you know you don't really have to listen to the teacher. You can focus instead on your one point, your hara, the place behind your navel, just like we do in our practice." When the boy did this, his grades improved. I remember my own Zen teacher, a man named Father Ben. He once told me that the notes that are played on the Japanese flute don't matter. What matters is the breath between the notes. This is the art of listening presence. Not clinging to the scaffolding of self, not rushing to fill silence, but learning to dwell in the pause, in the space between words, between breaths, between selves. It is there that the scaffolding loosens. It is there the self falls away, there we discover what is real. The Buddha once said, "Regard this world as a bubble, a mirage, a dream." When I sit in stillness, this becomes consistently clear to me. People, events, even my own thoughts rise and fall like foam on a stream. They are fleeting, insubstantial. Yet many live as if these bubbles are solid and lasting. Many people lean toward the outer world of family, community, even the shifting tides of the news. But others lean inward, into silence and into stillness. And I can see the difference. One tends to the bubbles with care, while the other watches them from the shore, seeing them as a passing dream. But perhaps both truths belong together, to see the transience and still to care, to know the bubbles dissolve and still to love them while they shine. Here is a closing meditation. As you begin to sit comfortably and close your eyes, take in one slow, steady breath. And now, let it go. Imagine someone is sitting before you, speaking to you. Not anyone in particular, just a voice. It could be a voice on a podcast. The words flow, but you are not straining to understand what's being said. Instead, listen for the silence that comes whenever the voice stops. Notice how that pause feels in your body. Breathe into that pause. Allow your awareness to rest there. Now imagine yourself speaking. Say a sentence inwardly. Then stop. Feel the quiet between the spoken words. Notice how the pause is full. It's not empty. Rest in that space. Each time you pause, each time you breathe, the scaffolding of your self-identity loosens a little more. Realize you do not need to hold it up. Stillness holds you. Stillness carries you. Stay here for a few more breaths, listening not to words, but to the silence between them. Listening not for meaning, but for presence. When you are ready, slowly and gently open your eyes and carry this pause with you into the world. And may peace be with you.